Careful, son, because they hide caterpillar eggs in the caramel. You can't taste it, but a couple days later, you're crapping butterflies. I think we got a lot of Americans here, huh? I'm American. I mean, I like being American because, say what you want, we got the best military in the whole world. And nobody can ever learn our military secrets. Unless, you know, they happen to have the Discovery Channel. Then it's pretty easy. You just tune in for a few minutes. In conclusion, the only way to destroy this tank is to cut this wire right here and place explosives there. We'll be right back with more things civilians shouldn't know. Americans love 4th of July, too. I mean, that's our day. Did you know, I read this on the internet, did you know 4th of July is more popular in this country than in any other country on the whole world? No, it's true. Because that's our day. That's the day you can wake up and say, yes, it's 4th of July, and I love my country. And because I love my country, I'm gonna shoot explosive rockets out of an empty Heineken bottle in my backyard during what is arguably the driest week of the year. Because I love my country. And sometimes in order to prove you love something, you gotta burn that son of a bitch down. And these rockets will have a loud explosion at the end of their trajectory, which will terrify my neighbor's pets, causing many of them to run away from home. Because I know that most domesticated animals aren't indigenous to this country. So guess what, cat? You can beat it. Go back to Catalina Island, or Catalonia, Spain, or Kathmandu, or wherever the hell your hairy ass is from. Because this is America. And around here, Catman don't. Thank you. Now, I know people love Halloween. I mean, I think that's a lot of people's favorite holiday. I didn't really love it growing up because my parents owned a health food store, so I couldn't get away with Halloween pranks because they owned the health food store, so it was so easy to bust me. You know what I mean? I was the only kid on the block egging houses with those big old brown eggs. Like, you didn't have to be a detective to figure it out. You'd be like, oh, I wonder who tofuti'd my mailbox. Is it the same evil genius who filled my bird bath with rice dream? And then broke Akma crackers over my garden gnome's head? But trick-or-treating, that would have been the ultimate, right? Trick-or-treating could have been the ultimate thing, but then your parents got to give you that safety speech. I think that took some of the fun out of it. You know, you're finally old enough to go trick-or-treating by yourself, and then they got to give you that talk. Like, all right, son, just go door to door and get the candy. That's all you got to do. Just go get the candy. Knock on the door, go to the next house, get more candy, and it's all yours. Get to keep it all. Have fun, get lots of candy. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to tell you, son. Be careful, because the candy might have razor blades in it. Oh my God. What a horrible thing to tell an 18-year-old. How are you supposed to enjoy it after that? It's a horrible thing to think about, razors in your candy. I mean, it's an urban myth. It's not even true. And as far as urban myths go, it's not very creative. You know, it should have been something more out there like, careful, son, because they hide caterpillar eggs in the caramel. You can't taste it, but a couple days later, you're crapping butterflies. But that wouldn't really scare you, though, because you'd be like, really? Cool. On the playground, what's up, girls? Oh my God, he's dreamy. That's a brown monarch. I don't think that was a real thing. I don't think that really happened. I think it was a myth. Did anyone here ever get a razor in their candy? Look, there's 500 people, not one person. I asked the last 50 crowds I performed for. I've yet to have one person go, yeah, I got a razor blade in my candy. 2 years in a row, man. I must be the unluckiest guy in the world. It happened one year, I thought, well, if I don't get back out there next year, then they win. So I went out there next year, and guess what happened? Same thing! Maybe I shouldn't have gone to the same house. There's no razors in candy. If for no other reason, it doesn't make financial sense. It's not fiscally prudent. How much does a piece of candy cost? Like a penny and a half? An apple's like 15 cents? Anybody here buy a Mach 3 replacement cartridge lately? They're so expensive they don't even keep them on the shelf. You know, you gotta ask the people behind the counter, and I feel like I'm trying to buy enriched plutonium or something. Like, do you have any Mach 3s? Why, yes, we do have Mach 3s, but those are kept in an attaché case, which is handcuffed to the manager's wrist on a yacht off the coast of Angola. But if you want, I can radio the chopper. I've been touring around a lot. I actually was in Cincinnati, and I met a girl after the show, and we talked for like 2 hours, and I thought we're really having a heart-to-heart, really opening up the heart chakra and really getting to know each other. 2 hours we talked, and then she said, okay, I gotta go home now. And I said, fine, that's cool, but I said, hey, maybe tomorrow you could show me around town. And there's probably some people here thinking, yeah, I bet you wanted her to show you around town, you scummy road comic, Arj. Is that what you think, judgers? Well, let me defend myself. I've never been to Cincinnati. I don't know anybody there, and I was traveling by myself. So you can think what you want, but believe it or not, I honestly thought it would be fun to get laid. And then she picked me up in her car because I was traveling by bus, and I thought it'd be a lot easier for her to pick me up in her car than for me to convince Greyhound to reroute the bus to go by her house. The paperwork alone, logistical nightmare. And I got in her car, and she never mentioned this, but all in the back seat of her car was all these Sesame Street books, stuffed animals, and even one of those games where you hammer the shapes into the corresponding holes. Okay? Now, I don't have a problem with this, but that's a big part of your life, and that's the kind of thing I'd like you to bring up in a 2-hour conversation before we go on a date, right? And I wasn't a jerk, but I confronted her. I said, hey! You didn't tell me about this. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You have a learning disability. Oh, no, I think you do. Because that square is in the circle, and that's a frickin' easy one. If you had put the rhombus in the parallelogram, I might have understood. Very similar shapes, deceivingly similar. But the square and the circle, what the hell's the matter with you? I went on a date the other night, and you get home and you think your friends would be a little excited for you, like, hey, how'd it go? What was it like? But my friends, they only want to know one thing. Did you score? Did you score? Did you score? Did you score? Hey, guess what? Newsflash, guys. A date's not a sporting event. Okay? A date's an opportunity to be in the presence of another individual and celebrate the uniqueosity of that person. And no, I didn't score! But I don't care, okay? Because I believe that if you go on a date and you get to second base, and then you go home alone and rub one out, that's like runs batted in. Why don't I get any credit, man? I drove home 3 million ghost runners. All right, 2 million, I smoke weed.